More people gonna make it because Jesus said he'll be with you always. When Jesus said that the poor will be with us always.
That's what he said.
My name was right, my face was right by that verse.
No. But your name was right by one of the pools?
You say the poor gonna be here. I said, shit, I'll be here.
Oh, you good, dog.
You see what's going on?
We live.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, family, go ahead on the tag and share. Let's get everybody in. We got an exciting show today. Let's get everybody in.
They ain't with us today.
Let's get, hey, Brother Dixon, go ahead on the tag and share. Let's get everybody in. I mean, we're live. Go ahead on. Let's get the numbers up. Let's get everybody in for this conversation today. I'm excited. You know the title of the broadcast. That's right. You know what the title is. So let's get everybody in as we get ready. Tag share. Jeffrey here. Go ahead on the tag and share. Let's get everybody in. Let's get everybody in.
We on like a thingy as well. Yeah. On a live video.
Tune in. That's right. Let's get everybody in. That's right. The title of the show today is Call It Like You See It. Go ahead on the tag share. It's Wake Up Wednesday. Want to say good afternoon and once again, welcome to, that's right, this is the Greg James Community Show right here on Hallelujah 95.3. Want to say good afternoon to all of those who are tuned in to the broadcast on today. Give a special shout out to all of those who are watching us on all of our virtual platforms. Listen, I need you virtually to go ahead on tag, share, like. Let's get ready because the title of today's show is Call It Like You See It. And that's what we're going to do. I got three important young men in the studio with me, and they are the umpires for today's conversation, and they're going to call it like you see it. Sometimes most people, when they try to make it to home base, it's the umpire who determines whether they're safe or out. Well, today I got three umpires that are going to be joining me, and I'm going to introduce them to you all real shortly. But let's talk a little bit about 3-4 minutes about what's happening in and around our city. Hey, listen, the FAMU football team is absolutely on fire. They're on fire. And certainly it was a good game this weekend. They walked away with an amazing victory. Florida State kind of lost, but the crowd was there. As a matter of fact, I had an opportunity to be in two stadiums in the same evening. And I must say, I felt safe in both of them. And I guess that's because why? Okay, I'll let y'all figure out why I felt safe. But however, it's an amazing time right here in the city of Tallahassee when two universities are at the same time doing what is best for the city. And that's bringing dollars and cents because it all makes sense. Listen, the games were two different time frames, so it wasn't a whole lot of traffic jam going on, but beautiful stadiums, and we just got to figure out how to get those concession prices a lift. Oh, God. I drank one soda that was so high I couldn't even finish it. My head started hurting. But however, that was...
Don't forget the hotel prices.
Hey, oh, my God, hotel prices. So, wow. So listen, let me tell you what else. Something is amazing brewing over at the Leon County School Board. So we're going to be talking about that. Superintendent Rodney Handler has got some amazing things happening, and it seems like there's a little fire going on. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But today's conversation, I'm excited about today's conversation because I have with me in the studio three voices that are among voices that really matter in our community. So delighted to have with us the chairperson of the Leon County Board of Commissioners, none other than the personality of none other than Mr. Commissioner Chairperson Bill Proctor. How are you, sir?
RM James, everything is well. We're excited to be here. We didn't get Hurricane Ian coming out of our community. Your prayers and prayers of righteous will avail it much. And we thank God for that.
Absolutely. And certainly, I'm glad you mentioned that because we are certainly keeping those families who were devastated by Hurricane Ian and in prayer. Our good friend, Reverend Timothy Mosley, is out in the Appalachian Parkway today. He's getting ready to take a big U-Haul down in the Central Florida area. So any of you who are listening to the broadcast, he's out there. He's collecting any kind of items, any donation. He's trying to load up a U-Haul to take to the Central Florida area. And I tell you, that young man does so much work in our community.
Yes, he does.
And I'm blessed that our church last evening, we made a major effort to get contributions. So I'll be taking him a check as soon as I get off the air to do what needs to be done over as he travels throughout the state to help those families who are in distress. So thank you so much for mentioning that. Also joining me in the studio is none other than the Vice President of Tallahassee Action Network, radio personality, preacher, builder. You name it. He has a plethora of titles. That's none other than Mr. Reverend Dr. Don Toliver. How are you, sir?
Too kind, my friend. Too kind, too kind. Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here on your show.
Well, man, I'm glad to have you. You know what it's like to be sitting behind the driver's seat of a microphone. And you know when the studio is filled with power-packed individuals, then you know you're always on the edge. That's how I am now. I had to take a nerve pill before I got here because I know this show today is going to be hot as usual. None other than my good friend who's in the building with us today. Ran for Congress, and pastor friend, Dr. Willie Anderson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing absolutely sensational, Reverend James. I'm so happy to be here.
Man, I'm glad to have you with us today. Well, listen, those of you who are tuned into the broadcast, it is titled, You Call It Like You See It. And one of the things that before I dive into the conversation, all of us know about the political season. We all know how interesting it can become. We also know how, I don't want to say nasty, but it gets a little down and dirty. I mean, I had the opportunity to run for office, and I really begin to have a whole different view now moving forward when I look at those who are running for office, and I applaud anyone who takes on the shoes to do that. Commissioner Proctor, you are one of our long-standing spokesman in the field of servant leadership work as a commissioner. What would you say when we look at how political races are being carried out now?
Well, it reflects that local politics, state politics are being controlled by corporations, and their outside influences whose money is larger than the candidates, whose voices is stronger than the candidates, whose reach into the constituencies, homes, their mailers, their newspaper ads, their television spots. This big money it's a corporate situation, and the names happen just to be faces and names that we tending to be like puppets, puppeteers. We're puppets, and we're dangled on strings by money outside our reach. People making flyers for you. You know nothing about, and it's a dangerous time.
Dr. Anderson, you had an opportunity to run for office. As a matter of fact, you ran for U.S. Congress. And what I mean, as you look at the season we're in now, what would you say when it comes to how it's being done?
Well, as a Black Republican running for U.S. Congress CD2, I got a chance to feel a lot of pressure from a lot of my African-American Democrat friends because the Democratic Party has demonized any African-American person that is registered as a Republican or stand on Republican values. So that comes with another level of hostility against Black Republicans in general.
Wow.
So it's a different level that I don't believe that other Democrats that run against each other feel. because a lot of people are taught that if you are black, you was born a diehard Democrat, but that's not so. That's not
Okay,
so.
wow. And we're going to dive into that because our show today stems from a situation that is really predicated on R&D. Dr. Tolliver, being that you work at National Action Network, you work closely with the community. You've seen so much in the years. When you take a look at where we are now in politics, what comes to the forefront of your mind?
You would hope that everybody comes out not about swinging, but the problem I think is that you get to the point where you call it nastiness. You get to the point where you started degrading people. You get to the point where you start taking names and trying to find out what dirt can I dig up on a person. I already told people if I ever ran for office, I tell them everything up front, so they would know exactly up front. You wouldn't be able to find out anything. But that is the realm of a lot of politics and some of the politicians. I know that you guys did do that when you ran, and Brother Proctor has not done that. But it's not about what you can take a person down with. It's about the character of what you have. And that's missing very, very greatly these days.
Wow. Well, I tell you, we are in the midst of a heated election throughout the state, throughout the nation, as a matter of fact. And as we look closely at our closely watched North Florida Senate race, which is being held by long-standing Senate personality and the personality of Lorraine Osley, who's a Democrat who is being faced with a candidate by the name of Corey Simon. Just here recently, it has been throughout our news media. As a matter of fact, one of my members sent me a mailer, and that mailer kind of like depicted Mr. Simon as someone who would turn our schools into shooting ranges. And not only that, but painted him as an extremist and who, oh God, I mean, it appears that they found the worst picture that could find and posted that there. Commissioner, what does that say to us as Black men?
Well, thank you. It says that, first of all, Corey Simon is not a demon. He's done more for white people as an individual in this race. Came to Florida State, played for a prominent Republican coach, raised lots of millions of dollars. Has anybody counted the revenue that Florida State made when Corey Simon played for the years he did? They won a national championship. The ripple of what the foundation and how it expanded because of that national championship. Has anyone done that? Corey Simon has done more for white people than Lorraine has done individually for Black folk. You can categorize, you can monetize, you can put a measure on Corey Simon's impact, if you will, upon an institution that benefited white folk. You can't do the same thing with Lorraine Osley. Okay, so the demon is not him. He's done more. They've gone too far and crossed the line. And that pile of bullets with his head framed, his face framed in that is just too far. Now, first of all, Lorraine Osley don't own that seat. Democrat Party don't own that seat. They don't own Black people. And for a party that receives 97% of Black people's vote, we don't get a hell of a lot back for what we put in. And what they are saying is that a Black person can't walk off the plantation because we'll come get you. Article 4 of the Constitution. If you flee from plantation in the United States, your owner has a right to come and extradite you from whatever jurisdiction you're fleeing to. So if you're fleeing from the Democratic jurisdiction, going to the Republican jurisdiction, Democrats believe they can come get you or shoot you because you're their property.
Wow.
And we're not property.
Wow.
And Corey Simon, if he can't stand up on his name, he can stand up on mine. He has a right to be anything he wants to be. He'd be I don't care what, he's free. He's not owned. And he should have a pile of bullets under his face. In times like these, This is it. I'm upset about
Okay,
this.
okay.
I'm upset about this. If somebody put a bullet
Yeah,
in front of my face and tag me and say this needs to happen. I got bullets right here on this face. That's wrong.
and not only that, but I'm going to I mean because I see my guests. They're here, but this is serious because I really feel and believe that we cannot have double standards when we look at this. I mean, everybody who sees it has been calling me saying, "Why are you having this discussion?" And I'm like, "Why not have the discussion?" Because what you don't realize is that if that was your son, or if that was your father, or that was your family member, then guess what? You would want someone to say, "Hey, we cannot tolerate this." You said something, Dr. Anderson. You are a registered Republican, and you have felt the pressure because you made that decision to be in that party. When you saw the flyer, what was your thought?
First thing that what came across my head that now we're gonna see how they do the other side. That's the first thing that came to my head. The second thing is, as I try not to react before gathering information, and after I got a chance to listen and try to run down Miss Osley, not saying response that she didn't do it. She referred to it as the Democratic Party put it out there, and that opened up a bigger can of worms for myself. That a party that, just like Mr. Proctor said, that has a 90% percentile of African American people that is registered and vote Democrats can put a campaign out there to assassinate a brother. That's a problem with me.
Big problem.
And and I have always been taught that attitude reflects leadership. So now it goes back to when I got ready to transition out of the Democratic Party, it was not because I was upset with anybody. It was not because I was someone that was just sitting in the crowd. When I left the Democratic Party, I was chairman of the Congressional District 2. I was over 19 counties in the Democratic Party. I had the opportunity to deal with Manny Diaz head on. And when I started seeing that the direction of the party that was going away from my direction that I was following, and that was my reason that was my reason for leaving. And I was set on so many different committees. I said a judiciary committee that made rules and governed the checks and balances of the Democratic Party of the state of Florida. And I resigned from that. I always say this is because I realized that we had more of us inside of the Democratic Party that was not benefiting me as blacks, was not benefiting for me being a Democrat. And so now I'm seeing a full-fledged campaign against a brother. Now we really seeing the other part of the hand. You only could play 3 card marbles too long for a certain period of time before you have to reveal where the marble at. And now we're seeing it. We're in the season of revealing.
Wow. And one of the things that this flyer it depicts that Mr. Simon cannot think for himself. And I think Commissioner Proctor, you said something that was so powerful when you look at the work that he has already done. And we're not here. This is what I'm saying to you all today. I want you to hear me. We're not here to give any kind of justification. We're here to show you that we cannot stand idly by and keep quiet. Because at the end of the day, whether you are R or you're a D, we got to understand that it's about people. It's not about a party. It's about people. And I don't believe that Commissioner would be serving as long as he's been serving if it was about a party. Because I'm sure the party has done more damage to you than any other party.
Well, the Democratic Party, commensurate to the support African Americans give, does not stand in the trenches relative to our concerns. They don't fight hard enough. They don't come strong enough on our issues. And when you're giving people 97% of your vote every time, election after election. In fact, let's say for President of the United States, the majority of white people have not voted, the majority of white people in this nation have not voted for the Democratic Party since 1964. So the majority of white people since 1964 election have always voted for the Republican. It's the loyal African American that have kept the Democrats in the game. Without the loyal African American voter, the Democrat Party would be over, dead. So when your strongest voting bloc constituency, most loyal, can't get any service from you, and Dr. Anderson and others say, I want to, sniff around. I mean, it's 2022. We really ain't got a hell of a lot since we've been out of slavery in 1865. I mean, so what? And then this Democratic Party on a good man. I'm gonna call Corey Simon a good man. He is a good man. He has the right to join it if they will accept him, the KKK if he wants to go there. You didn't I was gonna say that, but he does.
That's
He's
his
a
right.
grown man. He has his right, his belief, his thought, and I support a black man's right to think the way a black man feels he needs to for him, his family, his community, whatever he's saying. And to put them bullets and to put that picture, that suggestion, and then all them bullet holes around that school with these kids, man. Corey Simon is not this. Look at that, man. He had no bullets or no little kids.
Right.
There's nothing in his background to correspond to this kind of projection of this man, this misleading thought. And we owe it to him to say, for those of us who know Corey Simon, he's a gentleman, he's thoughtful, fun to be with, easygoing. He's not an extremist. He played for Coach Bowden and others. There's so many great men and team players to vouch for who he is in the trenches as a team. You can't say this about. And the scary thing, if you can do this to Corey Simon with his angelic grace, God, what could you do to Bill Proctor?
Wow.
Because it was supposed to ignite fear in the party, and again, I'm not beating up on the Ring Osley. Is if I was linked to something that I do not agree with, no matter who put it out, I run it down.
And she needs to do that. Lorraine needs to come out and denounce
this. Yeah, even if the Florida Democratic Party put it out and I just said this a little while ago, I don't understand how the Florida Democratic Party concentrating on putting out flyers of hypocrisy like they are doing, while we can't even get it, while the Florida Democratic Party can get any assistance from the National Democratic Party who wrote them off. So basically concentrating on getting their party together. And I know I'm going to cause people going to get upset about that and send me inboxes. Don't, because I said what I said, I meant what I said.
Absolutely.
But I believe, and I do not know Mr. Simon. Well, my outrage is at this particular point is when they tried to pinpoint Miss Osley to say that did she do it, did she not do it? She went around the merry-go bush. If I didn't do something I don't like and I think this is going too far, I stop it.
Absolutely.
I'm running for office, and if they put it out there to say they're backing me and they're supporting me with hypocrisy, I stop it. Period.
Right.
No. Democratic Party was wrong. I have already called Manny Diaz and found out who did this here. They did it distastefully. I stand against this. My campaign does not stand on this ground. This is not what I believe in. This man had nothing to do with the school shootings, or he's gonna. But if we elect him, they're gonna have more school shootings. Let's stop there right now. That's what leaders do. Leaders stand.
Wow. And then on top of that, the children that they got is white children.
Yes.
See, if you get Corey Simon, they got all the bullets around the little white children. They ain't got no black kids gonna get killed. These are white kids.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's racism. Racism to the core. Why would you put them white children there that Corey Simon gonna get our white children killed?
Yes.
That reminds me of the movie Time to Kill with Samuel L. Jackson when McConaughey, his lawyer, said, "What if it was a white person that got raped and sodomized and brutalized?" And the white jury, they looked with shock and amazement in their minds and their eyes, and they acquitted him because of what he did. The point that I'm making is that effect when you see that, those bullet holes, you see that degrading a black man. Okay, I don't care what party he's with, he's still a human being. You're trying to take away the essence of what we stand for as far as black men are concerned. When you have a good black man, you have something. You have a person who's caring, who's trying to make things happen. I can't help what party he's with. I'm not against him. I went to Florida State and I went to FAMU. I love both schools, okay? But the bottom line is you cannot take a black African-American male and treat him like dirt and expect him still to be standing when it's all over.
Mm.
Wow. And I think that what we are seeing today as we move through these elections, and I think Commissioner Proctor, you made a very good point, because I really never looked at it like that with the children that are being displayed. They are white children. And when you take a look at Corey's Simon, he has led the Pop Warner group of children. I mean, he mentors children from foster families.
Mhm.
He was over Volunteer Florida.
Yes, it was.
So to depict him as an extremist and to place him in this kind of light, I mean, for every black man who's listening to this show, you should be outraged.
Mhm. I agree.
Should be.
You should be.
But you're not.
And why aren't we? Let's figure out what has desensitized us to the point that,
Well, I know
okay,
the fact that if the Republican Party had said this about a black man running as a Democrat, then we'd have been outraged because Republicans. But right now, we don't know where to place Republicans. We think about Trump, we think about DeSantis, we think about every other mofo who just ain't worth, yeah, and don't like black folk, and demonstrate don't like them. So we don't know how to defend Corey because he's on with them. Truth is, what you said is individual. He's born black, his birth certificate happened black, his mom was black, dad. He was black before he joined the party.
okay.
Okay. But he's gonna join that party. And now we don't know how to come save him when they come to get him because he's over there. And so this thing,
Yeah.
talk about
That's it.
from slavery, well, you ain't with Mr. Gilmore no more than you ain't on the plantation with us, boy. You done ran away. We with Mr. Gilmore now.
That's it. That's it.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
unfortunate that it's that way. And the desensitization, be desensitized. Problem that I have is when we don't say something ourselves, we know it's wrong. We won't stand up for it. We won't be a part of it, but we still know it's wrong. If you know it's wrong, you should say something. I believe what Martin Luther King said, if there's injustice anywhere,
Threat to justice.
say it again.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Threat to justice everywhere. Yes, sir. And that's the problem that we have with African American men. You can stand out there and see somebody on the side of the road need a tire, and a black man, you don't go past him. Now you may see a white person and say, okay, I'm gonna stop and help him. Because you think that the black man gonna do something to you. The black man is just as needy as the white person is. So why don't you just stop and help him and see what you can do to try to assist? It's nothing against the need. The need is still there. But you do go back to that pigment in my skin. And that's the problem that I have with America today. I tell people I'm not prejudiced or racist, but I can get there if you make me. If you treat me like dirt, treat me like a second-class citizen, you got more than hell to deal with me.
Well, Pastor James, I want to raise this question. What do you do? What do you do? Does Lorraine Osley get to have it both ways, that she's willing to ride out by any means necessary? You said that we're the referees.
Mhm.
We're the umpires.
Absolutely.
Is there a rule that she ought to abide by, a standard which Dr. Anderson has alluded to, that, hey, we're not talking about where the Democratic Party stand. Lorraine Osley, where do you stand about these characterization of Mr. Simon? That she needs to have personal, individual accountability as to, is she with this or is she ain't with this?
Well, I mean, as early as today, the question was asked again. I got an information. The question was asked again about this article, this mailer, and there was still never a direct answer. So I think that there has to come a point. As a matter of fact, let me let you all hear what happened over at Tiger Bay, and you can put on your headphones and okay, let's go.
Pictures of children on it, the targets. They had a picture of a sign on it. There was some people who viewed that
You could let me.
I just wanted to ask about that, whether or not you
So with that being said, and after hearing that, I have to come to you, Dr. Anderson, because you said something that was key. You can't keep going around. Either I said it, I'm aware of it, or I'm not aware of it, and I totally disapprove of what has happened.
Well, her response is like lukewarm coffee. She does not have say so to speak, of what they produce. But what happens is that the Florida Democratic Party, they have a person that is appointed by Amanda Diaz that watches every Democratic election in the state of Florida. Every candidate, they have a list they go by. I'm trying to think of the name of that committee, and they work hand in hand with candidates that they feel like is favored to win. Now, if you ain't favored to win, they ain't gonna work with you. I'm a witness.
But it's amazing that you're saying that, because even now, what I'm being told, there are a lot of Black candidates who are Democrats that are not even getting any support from the party.
Because the party is broke. How can you support something in the piggy bank is empty?
Dr. Anderson, you can't mean that.
Yeah, I'm dead broke.
They're broke.
Dead broke.
Oh,
When, I mean, but I don't want to get into the Democratic bashing now. But I mean, when you have a broke, I mean, that's the reason why the National Democratic Party, when we did not invest any money here, Val Demings, who I am a Republican, who does like Val Demings, that's the only one they are looking at. That's the only one they are putting any money nationally in, and everybody else is on a wing and a prayer. So that means that, and they.
You mean Al Lawson is on a wing in the plan?
Oh, well, see, Al Lawson is he's already a congressional person, so they, of course, he's going to get national backing.
No, Doc. Al Lawson ain't getting no money.
Oh, he ain't getting no money
from DCCC. They ain't gave him no money yet.
Okay,
so
that still is standing there.
And I talked to him today.
Okay,
ain't got no money from them. So here's a Democrat, been a Democrat for over 3 decades. Carried a lot of water, done a lot of votes, over 3 decades, and he's not good enough to say. So what is Bible? What does Bible mean? But Black people are not Bible.
Mm-hmm.
That's dangerous.
Yes.
Okay. And we're not even Bible by the Democrat Party. And we're bringing 97% of our people to vote for them.
So we're looking at and I just started voting once again by getting my rights back in 2018, and I understood that, hey, my mama, she's gone on to glory. She was a Democrat. My family's a Democrat. So when I got my rights back, I said, well, I'm going to be a Democrat. But this election cycle taught me that the values that are being put before us puts party over the people.
Oh yes. And it's so funny though, Dr. James. I remember when we got our rights for school, we had a conversation on the phone. I don't know if you remember this. And I told you, I said, well, I'm getting ready to register as a Democrat because I'm Black. And we were talking back and forth. You said, well, that's the only reason you're going. And I sat back and thought about it, and I still registered as a Democrat. And I ran until I got started moving up the chain of command in the Florida Democratic Party, and to have a past president, Terry Rizzo, to tell me. I thought they was coming to support me. Mm-hmm. And she was on her state tour, and she goes from county to county that the president does, and she said, no, we just here for a photo shoot because we ain't giving you no money. And I was shocked. And I said, well, you're not going to give. No, I said, well, I thought that the party was supposed to help out the ones that need the help. He said, no, it doesn't operate like that. And that's when she began to explain to me. And so Mr. Proctor telling me that Al Lawson's not getting the money. This is what was discussed to me almost 4 years ago.
Yeah, we use your Black face to turn out Black voters.
Yes.
But we give the money to some other viable white person.
Yes.
Wow. So here we are today, and we're talking about, call it like you see it. It's a mailer that has, just really invaded the community. It is targeted, I understand, allegedly, white females. And there are a few mailers that ended up in some of our mailboxes. But however, this mailer depicts a Black man who's a Republican and labeled as a young man who will possibly be an extremist that can't think for himself, that would turn our schools into shooting ranges. I mean, and now here's my issue. And
Dr. James, before you go there,
yeah.
are we Peters Do you know the man?
Man.
Oh,
Are
wow.
we Flo Peter sitting up in here?
Mm,
I don't know the man.
mm,
I'm telling y'all, I know the man.
mm.
This man is not who's been depicted. Now, do you and I have a responsibility to clarify that he ain't that? Do you know him, Peter? No, I don't know him.
Uh-huh.
And right now, we're at that moment.
Mhm.
Do you know who Corey Simon is?
Mm.
He's not gonna bring bullets to kill children at the school. He don't have his head shouldn't be framed in something by a party that represents 90% of black folk. You know, and I think it's our moment in time. And Osley deserves to repudiate that statement.
Yes.
She needs to draw a line in the sand. This is sand drawn in the lines drawn in the sand time.
Yes, sir.
And you got to put up, shut up. And this is the moment.
This is it.
This is the moment.
And I think that we're in a place because I think we're in a place that if we don't speak up, then we'll always operate in a mode of silence. Nothing will change when we look at where we are now. And I'm grateful to God that I did have the opportunity to run. I'm glad I did. I saw so much. And one of the things that I saw is that there is this, how do I want to say it? There is this level of, I hate to say it like this, but there's this level of racism even among black folks.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Good God Almighty.
And no matter how good you think you are, you're still not good enough. And as long as there are people who are of the other persuasion that can utilize you to get to where they need to be, then it's okay. But when it's your time to call upon them, there's never an answer. It's time for us to unify. And I think, Commissioner, you said it well. Who do men say that I am? All of us are men of the gospel.
Mhm.
All of us understand that Jesus was saying, do you know me for yourself? Some say you are extremists. Some say you are this. Some say, well, who do you? This is an hour where we have to know people for ourselves. We have to know them beyond parties. We have to know them beyond what people are saying. We've got to know them for ourselves.
You know, I did a sermon a few years ago in Karen Tagline, a song called "What Your Name Is" with tag of Travis Lady. Who do you say he is? You know, what your name is? I need to clearly identify who you address yourself as.
You didn't say that first part of that song.
No, I didn't.
You left it.
I didn't ask about the second part.
See,
But
I would have known the song that you brought, you know.
No. I went straight on what your name
What
is.
your name is.
What your name is.
Consider yourself to be. And Corey Simon should not be depicted in this mold because that's not who he is.
He married. He got 2 kids.
Man, I'm telling you,
and
man.
doing those things that we checked the block on.
Yes, sir.
And if he was, you give him credit anyway, except the Democrat Party don't give him credit for those things he represents.
But you know, what we're experiencing here is almost an enigma on your show, Brother James.
Mhm.
When you have a leader that's saying that I'm standing up for someone on the opposite side because I know him.
Wow.
The problem that we are having in our black community, we have too many of our leaders that are liquid. They're going into any beaker that you pour them in and try to fit that particular mold. And some of them have been stuck there so long till they turn to jello.
Wow.
So now we have a leader that's a black leader that's saying that who has served the community for decades, say, hey, I know him. And I know that this is not right. But a lot of times we have our black leaders are afraid to stand up because, see, back in the day, you know, I'm not that old. I'm a young man. Thank God for that. Back in the day, I have read, because I'm a historian buff, that our black leaders said, if I die, I die.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I believe.
Mm.
Now we are black leaders saying, well, I'm afraid to be voted out. I'm trying to get another term in. Instead of saying, well, whatever they voted me for to serve, I'm going to go on with this here. And we got Mr. Proctor here saying, hey, I know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to never vote for me again. I know you just say that, though, but you have to never vote for me again.
Hey, look,
But this is what I believe.
I did say that.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? That's a leader. The problem is we are not seeing true leaders. I really believe they need to go back to Webster and modify the definition of the word leader, because we're not seeing that. See, you're seeing Mr. Proctor said, hey, we know his track record, and we got someone speaking about somebody else's track record. That's what leadership does. Live or die, sink or swim. This is what I believe. And we're not seeing that. So I really believe that we should have had this studio jam-packed today with leaders that he has served with pastors that know him and say, you know what, this is outrage. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, this is not who that is. But we have a lot of people that are listening, cowards, that are listening and will not open their mouth and say, this is not what it is.
Well, you know, black men need to leave the Democratic Party. This is the best they got for us.
What you say?
We need just to step outside, bro, and become independent. We just need not to be a member of their party. I don't want to be no member, no nothing stink, foul, debasing, demeaning, the denigrating, the marginalizing, as something like this against a fine, upstanding, noteworthy guy. I mean, this is Corey Simon. This ain't no Rudy Poo. This ain't Junebug. Ray. I mean, this ain't who this is. No, man. This is a guy, man, who done checked the block on everything, man. You know, went to school, got a degree, all that other stuff. He did all them old things, man. And you can come after him like that. I mean, I feel like Snoop, man. Don't make me come get you.
No.
We need to go. We need the party, man. I mean, this is so profoundly foul. It's so far out the line. I mean, I'm almost willing to step out this party, man. And maybe that's what we need to do. If some apologies can't be found,
Absolutely.
some retractions can't be made, some denouncements, some repudiating of what has occurred. I mean, hell, I wasn't born no Democrat. I ain't got to die no
So
Democrat.
I got a trick question.
What's your trick?
If Lorraine Osley did not say it, then what is her position? What does she say to the general public?
Well, if she did not say it, then I feel, this is just me and my humble opinion, if she did not say it, then I feel that she said to the general public, I did not say it, and I'm totally renouncing whoever did that without my permission.
Gotcha.
But however, now let's understand that there are certain financial laws that are in place, and there's no way, this is just my humble opinion, that she had no idea. Nobody is going to put anything out about me that I don't know about. And if they do, I'm going to be mad as HE2 hockey sticks.
I got you.
Okay? And I didn't put out a whole lot of flyers because I didn't have a whole lot of money to do that. So the one I put out was one that I know I was putting out. And I know what the message was.
And you know how much it costs.
And I know how much it
There
costs.
you go. Okay. But I mean, that's just the question you ask yourself. Is that real or is that Memorex? You know, did she or did she not? And I have no idea.
Well, she needs to come clear and come straight down the middle of the road and make herself clear on what is her position about Corey and bullets killing white children. I mean, this is incendiary. I mean,
Yes.
this is race baiting.
You
This
know,
is a dog
yes.
whistle.
I saw another ad that came to my house yesterday. There was a picture of Brother Simon with a big head and a small body, like a one of them dolls you have around your car. You know, bobblehead.
Yeah, bobbleheads.
Right.
Come on, you're kidding me.
And it said he was crashed up. They wanted to say cracked up, but like he had lost so much weight. And the depiction was, he's crashed up. We're gonna vote for him. They wanted to say cracked up. Now I don't know who put it out because I did not read the fine print, but I thought that was another demeaning flyer. If you get a chance to see it, I'll post it when I get home.
Man, this is racial on steroids, and there's something that we need to say to the Democratic Party. We 90-some% black men. You know, we can take. Because I'm already saying that ain't nobody supporting the black women. So they're like we already been decapitated, like we're not part of the party in no kind of way. So black men pull out the party and just be in abeyance.
Independent.
Independent. Because I mean, I see they don't love me. They'll come for me. You know.
Absolutely.
Well, the problem they have with you, Brother Proctor, is you too much of a clear voice, and they don't want to hear the clear, precise message that you're putting out there. That's what that's all about.
But I mean, at some point, we have to be able to let truth become the guiding light that moves us in a direction of change.
What was the Trump term they put out there?
Fake news.
That and something fake news, and it's y'all know it's fake news. Really?
Yes.
Really? And they tell me the truth, but it's fake news. Just like we go back to election issues, you know.
Bro, these I could see some things.
Alternative facts.
But these are bullets.
Yes.
These are bullets.
Yes.
You know
And
what
our
I'm saying?
kids.
In a culture
Yes.
like this, man, we had schools shut up.
Yes.
Where's Corey? These are bullets under the
Yes,
hand.
yes.
These are bullets, man. These people speak in code. These people speak in riddles. These are stack of bullets
Yes,
piled under his
That's right.
at his
Under his
torso.
name. That's right.
You understand that?
That's right.
This is too much. She got to say something. She got to say something. If she don't make this thing clear, I want everybody on this radio show to know I ain't gonna vote for her.
Well, now I do
She
understand
gonna
that
clear
she'll
this
be
up.
on the radio tomorrow.
You need to get her in on radio, man.
She'll
Well, I
be
think
on
that-
the show tomorrow.
She gonna be on this radio show tomorrow.
She's gonna be on Rev Home show tomorrow at 2:45.
I'm gonna tell you right now before Rev Holmes get to her. Let me tell you before Rev Holmes get to her. If she don't clear this up and come out straight, I ain't supporting her. You hear that, Osley? I will not support you when a man got bullets in front of his chest and he's somebody's daddy, somebody's husband, and it's the best thing. You can't draw a line and have clarity about what's morally right. If your morals is this lost, you don't need to be in legislature.
Well, I mean,
I got to go. I don't want to talk about it no more. I done said what I got to say. Until I hear from her, I can't hear from her tomorrow and make this straight. She done made my mind up for me. And I'm telling everybody what to go do. You don't want her?
That's wow. Well, listen, you're hearing that right here on the Greg James Community Show. Hey, listen, I told you we hot here on our show. Hallelujah 95.3.
Hallelujah. Hey! Won't do it? Praise him.
And you know the thing about it, I want to respond. Someone just made a post that says, to be fair to Corey, he cares for kids so much that he stopped us convicted felons from coaching. A convicted felon said that. To be fair to Corey, he cares for kids so much he stopped us convicted felons from coaching.
That's that time, man. I get it.
You got it.
I understand.
Wow. So here's the thing about it that we have to do today. Here's another comment. Corey Simon is in a party that passed the racist anti-riot law after BLM protesters. The state of Florida already has laws. The state of Florida has laws on the books against riot and looting, but
Hold on.
Okay.
Rev, what you talking about is just the mere association. See, it was said if he known who this mofo was, he wouldn't be down in his house eating with Zacchaeus.
Mhm.
If he had known who this woman was, he wouldn't let her wash his feet with her. Ooh, he just don't. But he associating with them.
Mhm.
I mean, look at who he's associating with. Republicans, whatever that is.
Mhm.
What about the man who was a tax collector?
Mhm.
And Jesus was denounced. Ain't this the Hallelujah station?
Yes,
And
sir.
Jesus was denounced
Yes, sir.
for being with Republicans,
Mhm.
going to their house, and all of those things. But the universality of the Lord allows for righteousness to go into the den of evil.
Mhm.
But you suggest that just because righteousness goes into the den of evil, that it is
It's not right.
evil.
Wow.
Possibly Corey has the wherewithal to go into that room in that house and to transform and say, folks, let's get Medicaid expansion in Florida. Because I'm the biggest, baddest mofo in the room. If I have to hit somebody side the head, I want it. Maybe we need someone to go into that den and say, you know what? Mask ought to be required for COVID situation. I mean, his voice could be for times such as this.
Right. Wow. What a powerful insight. Dr. Anderson, you was about to chime in on that.
No, I'm just looking at some of these comments that people are putting on. I mean, they're flowing in like from all over the place. And a lot of times I'm going to go back to what Mr. Proctor said and you said, Dr. James, is that we have to come out of just being party associated and we look at people. Because I keep on looking at people. He's involved with this party and that party. That had nothing to do with anything. If you are, everybody got something that you're not going to totally agree with him. But when you start looking at the basis of the belief system of the person and their action, everybody got to stand on their own 2 feet and their own integrity. And I believe that some of the guys in the comments are getting sidetracked on Trump and the governor. That's fine and dandy, but where do you stand?
Exactly.
Where do you stand?
Who do you say?
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
Wow. Hey, well, listen, I tell you, this is what it is. We call it like you see it right here on the Greg James Community Show. What a very informative and inspiring conversation. And I just believe that our conversation today has really awakened the mindsets of some of those who are tuned into the broadcast, because we have to really understand that we have to know people for ourselves. And I'm so big on that because I have personally, my own personal life is an indication of people have judged me without even knowing me, and they have made guilty verdicts without even having an opportunity to hear the case. So I know how that is, and to be able to see what we've seen when it comes to this mailer, then we are saying on this show this hour to Miss Lorraine Osley, if you did not know anything about it, then this is a moment that you must renounce that. And whoever the active parties were in their graphic designing and in their messaging, whoever they were, renounce them, because this is a direct indication
Yes.
of racism
Yes.
Amen.
in its fullest.
Agreed.
And we're not going to sit idly by and just act as though it was just a mailer.
Yes,
It
sir.
is not just a mailer.
Not for them bullets.
It's not just a mailer.
Bullets, brother.
Those are bullets, and we're in a very crucial time. And at the end of the day, Corey Simon, Greg James, Dr. Anderson, Bill Proctor, Don Tolliver thinks for themselves.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Amen.
I can hear Commissioner Proctor say, this is what it is. But if that's not my thought process, then I'm going to give my thought process. I feel and believe that we're in a moment, we're in an hour where we have to man up
Yes.
as we move forward.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And we have to take our eyes off of parties and begin to look at people. And we begin to look at the needs of our people. And we begin to see how important it is to be able to fight to ensure that our people are taken care of as we move through this process. Gentlemen, we got 1 minute left. Final closing arguments with 30 seconds left. What is it?
Hey, my thought process is let's treat everybody over there supposed to be treated. Treat the brother as your brother, your friend as your friend. Do not dog anybody out.
Wow. Listen, I got to stick a pin in what you just said. Either I'm going to be my brother's keeper, I'm going to be my brother's killer.
There you go.
Wow.
I defer to Dr. Anderson. Thank y'all for letting me talk with y'all.
Man, all I'm going to say is I'd rather you look at me and judge me on what I do and what I say. I'd rather you seek out my integrity and see what I'm saying is right than you could take what you think you know as concrete.
Hey, it's been another amazing show right here on the Greg James Community Show. I want to say to all of you, stay tuned. Listen, the month of October is going to be hot. We're moving into a major elections cycle. We're going to encourage all of you to get out the vote. And guess what? Study candidates. Get an opportunity to meet them. Get an opportunity to hear what their platforms are. And don't let an overall arching view make you make a decision for someone locally that's handling local business that does not have an impact on what happens on a national level or state level or local level. Our races are hard, and we got to have the right people working for us. This has been Greg James Community Show. I want you to have a faith-filled day. And guess what I also want you to do? I want you to get to know me before you judge me.
Yes, sir.
All right, you be blessed.
Amen.
Dr. James, are we off the air now?